Summary of Go for No. Yes is the destination, no is how you get there, by Richard Fenton and Andrea Waltz. If you're not succeeding fast enough, you're probably not failing fast enough, and you can't have one without the other. So, if you're going to avoid one, you're going to avoid both. By Joe Malarkey. Then he looked me in the eye and said, Eric, your fear of hearing the word no is the only thing standing between you and greatness. It was amazing. I had gone into work that morning, hoping to keep my job, and I went home that night, just 2 letters away from greatness. I realized that failure was the halfway mark on the road to success, not a destination to be avoided, but rather a stepping stone to get what I really wanted in life. No wonder everyone on the planet thinks failing is something to be avoided at all costs. We sugarcoat it and dance around it and talk about it as if it were death. The best way to desensitize yourself to a word is to use it, and the best way to desensitize yourself to an action is to do it. Somewhere along the line, that natural sense of tenacity we had as children got drummed out of us. Billy knows not to take the rejection personally, but as adults we forget that. What sets successful people apart from the masses is their willingness to fail. Successful people fail eagerly, while failures avoid failing. The word no doesn't have to be debilitating to us. That's the most important lesson you'll ever learn. Some people stumble over the truth, pick themselves up, and go on their merry way as if nothing had happened at all. You know, the comfort zone is never static. It's always in a state of expansion or retraction. Courage is not the absence of fear, he stated. Courage is acting in the face of fear. It's being afraid of something and doing it anyway. A willingness to fail means a person will tolerate just enough failure to get what they need from life, and no more. A wantingness, on the other hand, means you're not just tolerating the no's in your life, you're actually beginning to seek them. When you develop a true wantingness to fail, rejection starts being fun. While we have absolutely no control over the actions of others, we do have total and complete control over how we react. Would a manager of a baseball team keep his star player out of a game because he was on a hot streak? No, I replied. So then, why would a salesperson sit himself or herself down when they're hot? It doesn't make any sense. You never want to lose your success momentum. Each of us has our own personal failure quotient. In other words, how many times is a person willing to fail before succeeding? How many times are they willing to get knocked down and then get back up, knowing that they almost certainly will get knocked down again? How much failure can they endure on the road to success? Perhaps the single most important factor that determines if a person will achieve everything they want in life or simply settle for crumbs is their failure quotient. But what do most of us do when we have a failure? We analyze it and languish over it and let ourselves get buried by it, when what we should do when something doesn't go our way is to simply say next and move on. You make it sound so easy. It isn't easy, but like everything else in life, it becomes easier with practice. Numbing yourself to no isn't about ignoring it. It's about experiencing it so often that it eventually loses its power over you. Do the thing you fear, and the fear will go away. When everything in life is over and done with, no one will remember your failures, just your successes, and neither will you. Have you ever heard of the Pike syndrome? I don't think so. A group of scientists at an aquarium in Canada did an experiment where they placed a large pike and some small minnows in a glass tank and separated them with a glass partition. The scientists watched his hungry pike repeatedly batter its nose against the invisible glass barrier for hours until the pike finally gave up. Then the scientists removed the glass partition, and what do you think happened? Bye-bye Manaus. Nope. The pike stayed on its side of the tank, swimming in circles with lunch just inches away, restrained by only an imagined barrier. The pike had conditioned itself through hours of nose bumping to stay within its own self-imposed limitations. Most people are no different from pike, he continued. They have bad experiences, bang their noses a few times, and learn how to quit. Then they find themselves in a new situation where there are no real barriers, where they can eat all the Manaus they want. But do they? No. They restrain themselves within their own imaginary walls. Approaching enough people with your offer, even with the most negative message imaginable, can save whole companies and entire careers. You see, if you truly want to accelerate your sales performance, you have to fail faster. You know, when you mine for gold, you don't really look for the gold. You remove the dirt. Selling and gold mining are very much alike. It's the people who remove the most dirt, who work their way through the greatest number of no's, who ultimately discover the greatest number of golden yeses. The best piece of advice I can offer is to learn that no doesn't mean never, it means not yet. For starters, I'd say that a primary key to creating outrageous success is to understand the need to fail exponentially. But I can't begin to tell you how many times executives have reached the top and suddenly forgotten what got them there. They start trying to avoid failure. And when a leader is afraid to fail, everyone in the organization knows it. Not only do people sense it, but they figure that if you're afraid of something, there's a good chance it's something they should be afraid of too. The second is to reward people for their failures, not just their successes. Yes is the destination. No is how you get there.